2 techniques through which you can simply start thinking in English. Very easy to follow. And you will be thinking in English because you are not giving your mind any other option rather than thinking in English. And isn't that amazing? Hello, everybody. How are you all? Hope you're doing great. So, welcome back to another session of learning English and improving your English speaking skills with me. Today, I am going to tell you something that is going to be very helpful for you to improve your English. That is, how to start thinking in English. I am going to tell you 2 easy methods through which you can start thinking in English. Now, thinking in English, thinking, that means your thoughts are very important. How to think in a particular language. We have a particular series on this. I have so many lessons, and this is going to be another lesson in our Thinking in English series. So, are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. And before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you can get all the lessons on this channel. Before beginning, please like the video and share it with your friends too. Now, coming back to today's lesson. How to start thinking in English. Now, thinking in English is very important. You have to think in a language. Is it possible to think in a particular language? Well, it depends on how much you're trying to achieve this particular goal of fluency, how much you want to improve. Yes, you can think in English, but for that, you have to deliberately think in English. You have to develop a habit of consciously thinking in English. And slowly and gradually, it'll become natural for you. Absolutely natural, which will increase your fluency. So, how to do that? How to start thinking in English? Now, for that, you have various techniques that I've already told you. Now, I'm going to tell you something that you can apply anytime, anywhere. While you're learning something, you can apply it. This is a thinking in English technique that you can apply anywhere. And I have 2 of those techniques. So let's begin with the both of these techniques. Technique number 1. Technique number 1 is stop translation. You need to stop translation. Translation can occur. It's something that's very natural while you're learning a second language. Now, English is your second language. Yes, you have a native language. For example, you might be from France. French is your native language. You might be from some other country. That's your native language. I also have one of the native language. But English is your second language. Naturally, what will happen is you want to translate. You are tempted to translate in your head. And hence, this is what is stopping you from thinking in English because you're constantly translating. So you are thinking that it's okay, let's translate at this particular time. And I'm not gonna translate once again. I won't translate, but this happens again and again. And we have to stop this pattern, specifically for the advanced words. A lot of times, it's very easy to understand the meaning through translation when we are learning advanced words. But if you're going to translate, you are never going to realize the actual usage of the word. The usage, that means the word in context. The phrase or the particular word, whatever vocabulary you are learning in context is important. You need to learn it in context. That means in what kind of sentence it is used, in what kind of situation it is getting used. It's very important. If you want to stop that translation, you have to do it. And if you want to think in English, you need to stop translating because translation is creating a lag for you. You are constantly getting dependent on your native English language, and that's absolutely wrong. You cannot depend on your native language all the time to learn English or to improve fluency in your English language. It's acting as crutches, something that is holding you back. And I don't think so that you want to do that. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is not something that we can afford because we have to reach that goal, that particular destination of achieving the fluency. That is why you have to give up this translation that you're doing in your head. No usage of native language. Go do something which can help you stop translation in your head. Now, how to do that? For that, you have my video lesson, particular video lesson that I uploaded on 25th August 2024. So, I uploaded this particular lesson recently, that is how to stop translating in your head. I'm giving you 4 techniques to do it. And this is going to help you improve not only your fluency, but you will start thinking in English. The easiest way to start thinking in English, because once you stop that translation, what is the alternative? The alternative is to think in English. That means you are forcing your mind, the zone of your complete mind, to think in English. Because once you eradicate that native language step, once you take out native language out of the picture, what is left with you? Thinking in English. That means only English language is left with you. It's there with you. Now you're gonna think in English easily. It'll be spontaneous for you. It'll come from the back of your mind. And isn't that amazing and perfect? Well, yes, that's amazing and perfect. And that is what we want to achieve, to start thinking in English. Technique number 2. Well, technique number 2 is immersion technique. Immersion technique. Now, this is something that I've talked about a lot on YouTube, in my videos, in my lessons. What is immersion technique? That means to immerse yourself in English. To immerse yourself in English. That means to surround yourself with English language completely. Immersing yourself in the language is something that is kind of a native language kind of environment where you are completely surrounded with the language. You have to create environment like that. You have to create opportunities for yourself. That means you must carry something to read in English always with you. It can be a Kindle reader, and that is amazing because you can access anything to read on that device. Kindle Paperwhite. You can access whatever you want to read easily. Or you can carry a novel, you can carry a small magazine, you can carry anything around to read at any particular time. Either you can simply read an article on your smartphone. It's all up to you. Reading, listening, listening to podcasts, listening to songs, listening to a lot of English music. That is very important. So, when you listen to podcasts, what you're doing is you're listening to kind of information about a particular topic in a particular genre. And that would help you gain vocabulary of that particular topic, of that particular genre. You will interact with a lot of sentence structures. You will hear the sounds, the intonation, the pronunciation. And can you imagine how much this is going to improve your English? Because subconsciously, you are taking up English and it's getting there in the back of your mind. So these phrases, the sentence structures, they're gonna get fixed at the back of your mind when you listen to a podcast. And one exercise that I love a lot is listening to a podcast while closing your eyes. So you close your eyes and completely focus on the podcast that you're listening. Your hearing sense, that is auditory sense, is heightened a lot, and all the other senses, they reduce because your complete focus is on listening. So you are deliberately focusing on listening to a particular podcast, listening to the English, listening to all the sounds, the way the words are pronounced, the phrases are used, the sentences are made. You are completely focused on that task, and it helps you a lot in improving your English, because now this is gonna be there in your mind, in the back of your mind, in your subconscious mind. And if you come across a familiar word or the same word again while reading, you will remember how it sounds, the pronunciation. You'll remember listening to that particular word. And this is how you are immersing yourself in English, through listening, through reading, through watching content in English. Now, watching content in English is again very important. You can watch movies, you can watch TV series, you can watch cartoons, you can watch a lot of things. You can watch YouTube. YouTube has a lot of videos, lots and lots of English stuff for you, free of cost stuff. And that's one of the biggest platform that you can tune into to learn English, to listen to English, and watch content in English. Isn't this amazing? This is absolutely amazing. So you listen to English, you watch English content, and you read English. 3 tasks that you need to do in English to immerse yourself. You are creating a kind of environment for yourself, English environment. When you do this repeatedly, again and again, you are completely immersing in the language. And this will help you start thinking in English, because now a lot of things in your mind, they're going to be in English, because this is what you're feeding to your mind constantly. What you will feed to your mind will increase. And if you feed your mind with English content, that means in your mind, in your thinking, those English words, they would be more powerful. So that's why you have to listen to English, you have to read English, you have to watch English content and immerse yourself in English. There are various ways in which you can immerse yourself in English, in which this immersion technique works. Now, I have told you what is immersion, but how to exactly acquire that immersion? For that, I have 2 videos already. Although I've talked about this numerous times, but 2 videos are particularly dedicated to how to immerse yourself in English, how to create that particular environment, how to take up that immersion technique with its full power. And these 2 videos are, number 1, immersion technique that I uploaded on 11th August 2023. Another one is immerse yourself in English that I uploaded on 23rd July 2024. Now, these 2 lessons, one lesson I uploaded almost 1 year ago. Now, this is September, right? I uploaded it last year in August 11, 2023. So you got one lesson that was 1 year ago, one lesson you got recently, and both the lessons are very important. Let me tell you, both the lessons, they contain something different techniques. Whenever I come up with something, it's always improvised. But remember that improvisation is always advanced. That means you need to go to the first step. You need to always look at the first step. So step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, all the steps are important in achieving something, right? You cannot reach destination by skipping any of those steps. So if I've uploaded a video 1 year ago and I've uploaded another video recently, both the videos are very important. These are like stepping stones for you to achieve that particular thing, that technique. So watch both the videos, you can watch them and you can immerse yourself in English to start thinking in English. So these are the 2 techniques through which you can simply start thinking in English. Very easy to follow. And you will be thinking in English because you are not giving your mind any other option rather than thinking in English. And isn't that amazing? To just think in English and improve your English speaking fluency? Well, that's absolutely amazing. So take up these 2 techniques and start thinking in English. Do not forget to check out all the other lessons in our series, Start Thinking in English. We already have 10 to 12 lessons on Start Thinking in English. Go check all the lessons out in the series. This series is completely for you, just for you, so that you can start thinking in English and improve your fluency. That's it for today. That is it. Now I'm gonna meet you again with a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.